Okay guys, here we have a JDAM plane. It's a long-range bomber I designed in this game, Kerbal Space Program. I've kind of always had an affinity for military-style aircraft. As you can see, it carries two guided bombs under the wings. We're coming in here to make a run on the pyramids. I'm gonna drop off one of the bombs, switch control to it, and guide it directly into the statue in front of the pyramid. And you can see me coming in, making a good approach, taking my time. These bombs will actually glide for quite some distance, so there's really no need to get close. I actually drop them pretty far out. As you can see, I've got it throttled up, gaining speed, lowering altitude to be sure that the bombs have enough velocity coming at the pyramids to make it all the way there. Although their gliding capability is quite remarkable, so that might have been a bit unnecessary. You can see these struts on the top of the plane. They really help the wings hold a lot of weight under it. And right about here, I'm going to jettison the bombs, and only one of which I can control, but you have to have two so the plane's balanced. I'm going to tell you guys more about the stats of the plane and the design and theory behind it after you see this run here. In just a moment, you should see the bombs drop off. But first, I'm going to get the plane level and actually gaining a little bit of altitude. Keep the speed. Actually, the speed seems to be dropping right now, but that's okay. It still worked out, as you'll see. Any second now. As soon as I get the direction of travel over the horizon, I'll put the plane on SAS, or leave it on SAS, and then just drop them off. Here you go. All right. 2 JDAM joint munitions bombs dropped off. Switch control to 1. Now, one issue I've had with this, you see the gimbal's off. I have to go and right-click the guidance unit and switch and control from there in order for it to be correct. I don't understand why that's necessary. I would think that as soon as you switch control, it should just be right. Now here I steer away from the other bomb, which is still gliding up because that's the direction the plane was going in. Now these bombs are a little bit hard to control. They can pretty much only move up and down, so you'll see me having to roll it and then adjust the angle of attack by using the basically S and W keys up and down. You can't really steer left and right very well at all. I did put a reaction wheel on it. I might need another one. It has plenty of electric charge, and at a point here I actually lose control trying to get in a good run into the pyramids. What gave me the idea for this is I don't know where I heard it, but apparently back in World War II the Germans used to fly their planes and shoot out the nose of the Sphinx as target practice. So I thought I might do something a little bit similar, and I've always had a bit of an affinity for military aircraft, as my dad used to fly F-18s in the Navy. So it's kind of, aerospace engineering, something as I've always liked, which is what really drew me into this game. I will be putting this plane up on Spaceport for people to download if they'd like to try it, or try their own little things they can drop off of it. It doesn't have to be bombs, maybe a glider with a Kerbal in it. As you can see here, just trying to get the approach right, coming very close to losing control. And here I do lose control, and it takes me a moment to get control back. I have to spin it around a couple times. These bombs are a little bit unstable. The idea from them came from the guidance units that the military will strap on the back of their bombs that make them guidable from the plane, either via GPS or a little camera in the front that the pilot can use. My dad has actually told me about a couple JDAMs he got to drop flying F-18s, and I just thought that was a really cool thing. So I thought I'd design a plane in this game that can do that. As you see here, I get really close to gaining control, just about get it back. And then I start moving and make the attack run. And here you see me trying to yaw it using the reaction wheel. These things are a little bit tricky to control. I can't really put wings to get lift in different ways, because it has to flip. Or yeah, it's pretty much limited to lateral lift because it has to fit under the wing of the plane. But I did get control back. We're coming in, and I'll demonstrate how glidable these things are here in a minute by actually gaining altitude, which is a really cool thing I thought it was able to do. I did include a battery and solar panels on it to be sure it does not run out of electricity using the reaction wheel or any inputs I put into it via the guidance unit. I tried to make it as aerodynamic as possible. You know, it has a lot of lift with the wings. It seems to be steered from the front with the control panels up there. I figured front steering was the best as opposed to trying to steer from the back, and something that you just drop and glide like this. Something real simple. Those two tanks, they are not fuel tanks, they're just fuselage tanks because, I mean, well, there's no explosives in the game, so there's not really any point in putting fuel in it. It's just going to make it heavier and not be able to glide as well. You can see the speeds dropping a little bit as I get down and down further into the thicker air. But it's coming in for a pretty good attack run here. Not that I have anything against the pyramids. I actually love ancient Egypt. I've watched a lot of documentaries on it ever since I was young, but I just thought this would be a really cool thing to put up for my first Kerbal Space Program video. Making a few slight adjustments. Coming in and in and in. At a certain point here, I believe I speed it up because it's a very stable thing, and you know, there's no sense in just listening to me talk and ramble when all you want to see is it hit the statue and blow up. Here you can see there's a guidance unit, or the little science gathering unit on the front, which doesn't really do anything for career sandbox mode. Solar panels, battery in the back, sufficient wings. It glides fantastically. The only thing it could use is a little bit more control in the lateral direction, because you pretty much have to roll it and then move it vertically in order to steer it, which makes it a bit hard. The reaction wheel will let you turn it side to side, but since there's no aerodynamic fins up and down, it doesn't really do any good to just turn it like that. It kind of just starts flipping around in the air like a frisbee if you do it too much, and you completely lose control of it. And here's I've sped time up, coming in closer and closer. Closer and closer. Alright, here we go, gentlemen. That statue's going down. I named this plane the Long Range Bomber because it does have sufficient fuel to reach most of the continents in the entire Kerbal world. If anybody has any suggestions on bombing runs they'd like to see me do in any other notable areas, the pyramids are the only ones I know of right now. I'll be honest, I'm a bit new to this game, and this is the first gameplay I've ever uploaded on the internet. So I hope you guys like it. There's going to be a lot more to come. I'd really like to try and get Scott Manley or the Insane Rockets Division to review this plane and the guided bombs it can drop. Now here you actually see me tilting it up, and I can gain altitude. You see the speed dropping. It goes up to almost 100, about 20 meters a minute height, or 200 meters a minute height gain. You see the speed drop, and then I come in for the final run, picking speed back up, nosing it down. But I thought it was really cool that these things do have the ability to glide up. You know, you can gain some altitude back and come in from a much higher angle of attack. Coming in, coming in, coming in. I think it's really interesting that the guys who designed KSP decided to put in things like the pyramids. It's really cool. You know, I'm a big ancient Egypt fan. You know, there's a lot of mystery that we still haven't discovered out there. Archaeology's always been a cool subject for me. You know, so I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I'm blowing up the pyramids here thinking, you know, anything bad, but I just thought it'd be a cool thing to do since, you know, the Germans used to do it in World War II, you know. And here we go, coming in, coming in. Looks like we got a good run. And I wish I'd zoomed it out here a little bit more so you could see the explosion. And I could have gotten a more direct hit. I did hit the right side, or his left side of the face. But there you go. Boom. Now another flaw I've noticed in the game, or maybe something that I don't know how to do, is when I hit the keys to switch to nearby objects, all I can find is this. It's impossible for me to switch back to the plane I dropped it from, or the other bomb that's still probably flying through the air. You know, I go to the map and I can't see them anywhere. I can't right click on them and hit control here. It's like the plane just completely disappeared. If anybody knows how to get back control of the original plane, then, you know, that'd be really cool if you put that in the comments or send me a message. Something I've always wondered. Here I'm going to show you a little bit of design about the plane itself. If it'll load, spaceplane hangar. Here we go, guys. And there it is. Now, one thing I like to do is put the wings on the top of the plane. It gives you room to put whatever you're going to drop on the bottom. And if you'll look, the way I like to design it is the center of mass directly under the center of lift. And I know that's contradictory to a lot of people on the forums, but it seems like if the center of lift is basically what's holding the plane up, you want the center of mass below it, so it's pulling down, directly down. That should hold the plane straight. If you have the center of lift directly in the center of mass, then it's almost uncontrollable.